Ready to start our study session. So, here we go. Councilor Hogan?
Yes, this is ready. I believe City Clerk, we already introduced this, right? Okay, so this is ready to be voted on.
Thank you. I have item 10. And I'll know by Monday. Oh, Tuesday. Oh, I forget. So I'm going to call it ready with a question mark. Councilor Caldwell.
Thank you, Madam President. Blessings to all today. I have items 11 through 22. And Commissioner Byrd, are you here? All right.
Good afternoon, Saisha Byrd, Commissioner of Parks, Recs, and Youth Programs. Item 11 is a donation in the amount of $12,600 to remove a 42-foot sycamore tree at East Genesee Street. They tried to save it, but it's not salvageable.
Okay. Item 12.
12 is an application and agreement with New York Bricks Community Center upgrades through New York State DNSNY. It's a 20% match, and the goal is to upgrade some HVAC in the buildings,
Okay.
not to exceed $500,000.
Item 13.
13 is to amend the sale of bonds for capital improvement projects for the Eastwood Skate Park Phase 2 expansion located in Huntington Park, not to exceed $50,000. It's an amend to increase the amount not to exceed $500,000.
Commissioner, how much of that is $200,000 coming from DASNY through Senator May? Of that 500, how much of it is her money?
I don't have that answer with me. I can get that for you.
Okay. Because that money's been a few years in the making. I'm just wondering if it's still 200 from
It was
Senator.
200 from what, last I looked at, it was 200.
And the bids came in really high, so we had to amend.
Okay.
15 and
14, 15.
14, yep. You were talking
Where
about
we at?
14.
Yep, 14 is to amend and authorize this, it's for the Eastwood Skate project, not to exceed $50,000.
Yes. Commissioner, not to throw anyone off, but just for part of our conversation, when we're talking about some of the improvements in the parks, doing a comprehensive look at, because we're Band-Aiding some of these things.
Okay.
And I know we're spending, I know it's a 20% match, but even with 12, with some of the HVAC systems and stuff, like, let's
Yes.
continue to figure out what we can do to make it right instead of like Band-Aiding them. All right?
I agree with Councilor Caldwell. I mean, at some point, Commissioner, just where we are with all the grants, I know you have a resource problem in that department, but where we are with all the grants that have been allocated in the years that they've been, we were given permission to use them.
I provided some
At
of that
some point.
information on that comprehensive plan that I sent to you all. I'm not sure if you all got it.
Okay.
But there was a spreadsheet listing everything, how much money we got from what grant, what year, but we can sit down if you have questions about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Commissioner.
Well, what I would, like we suggested, now that everyone's coming back to me, we'll do a committee meeting and just talk about the parks and the different
Okay.
projects.
Yeah.
All right, next one, 15.
15 is authorizing the insurance and sale bonds for parks facility improvements through CIP, total not to exceed $600,000.
What parks are those?
I can get you the list. It's a variety of projects all across the parks.
Okay, yes. So
But
that's-
I'll provide you with a list.
That's also, well, that would be very helpful. Commissioner, like I said, I know you're doing a phenomenal job, and especially being new to this, but you are a park kid. Just so that we are not, some of these things have been repetitive, and that we're spending the money in the right way.
Yeah.
And it's not we're just Band-Aiding them instead of saying, okay, maybe this is something that we need to look into deeper and make sure we're fixing it to the best of our ability.
And we'll provide you with that list so we can review that. 16 is the authorization of that, and what it lists is some things like HVAC, electric, plumbing, security, roofing, carpentry, metal fabrication, sewer, hardscape, masonry, not to exceed $600,000.
Yep, just get us the list of this, Parks
Okay.
Commissioner.
Will do.
17.
17 is the bond ordinance authorizing the insurance to sell for vacant land management programs not to exceed $301,700. That is in conjunction with MBD to make sure that our vacant lands are secured and safe and clean so that we don't have the issues we're experiencing
In the
at
parks.
other places, yeah.
Yes, okay. 19.
Or 18 is the authorization of that vacant land management program, total not to exceed $301,700.
19.
19 is the bond ordinance authorizing the insurance and sale not to exceed $487,000 for natural areas restoration program. And that's again like clearing out brush, keeping places safe and clean.
Okay.
20 is the authorization of that, not to exceed $487,000, and it lists the areas to support natural area improvements slated for Homer Wheaton, Lincoln, Schiller, Onondaga Creek.
Awesome.
Good.
21.
21 is the bond ordinance authorizing the insurance and sale of a bond to defer the cost of the creek walk and trails vegetation management not to exceed $388,727. Again, it's to clear vegetation down the creek walk in the trails.
So why wasn't it just one whole? If we're clearing it up for all of these others, why are we separating the creek walk from the other vegetation? That's like 3 different projects of environmental.
I'll get you that answer from Steve. I don't know if it's where the funding, I'm not sure. I'll
Well,
clarify that with Steve.
Yeah, could you
And I'll
please?
get you
Because
that.
it looks
Yep.
like all of these are clearing out vegetation and improvements, which I don't understand why, because it doesn't show that it's.
And some of it's restoration, like 20 is probably planting of trees, like, yeah, clearing some, but it might be restoring some of the plants, some of the trees.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that's why he did it, but I'll get a clarified
could you-
answer. He's on vacation.
Yep, could you find out for
Yep.
those 3, because they're sort of all lined together.
Yep.
Thank you.
Are we at 21, 22? I'm
Yep.
lost.
21.
21.
Okay, 21 is the bond ordinance, so it's authorizing that vegetation management for creek walk and trails. And then 22 is the authorization 2526 Creek Walk Trails Vegetation Management Project on behalf of Parks for design, engineering, construction, purchase of material for upgrades along the creek and the Empire State Trail, through removal of invasive species, not to exceed $388,727.
Okay. Any questions?
I'm just curious, like the trees that fell and the different things in there, you're going to clear all of that out on the creek walk?
Yes. Yeah, we have to clear it out. We're in the middle of hiring trails coordinator, but it all has to be cleared out so that folks can continue to use the trails. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other
Thank you.
questions? Madam President, I'm ready.
Thank you. Councilor Majok.
Thank you, Madam President. I have item 23 to 30. First 2 items are for the fire department. Chief, you're going to take these for us?
Dan Downs, First Deputy Chief. The first on the agenda is to enter into an agreement with AMR, the ambulance service. We have never been under contract with an ambulance service in the city of Syracuse. We put out an RFP. This contract that they entered into willingly as the sole respondent was unanimously approved by the RFP committee, and we had a public safety committee meeting, I think it was yesterday. And there may be some additional questions, so I welcome any other questions.
Was Monday.
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 I'll answer any other questions.
Yeah. So we will definitely know by Monday, but there's a couple of, Tuesday, I forgot. We have a holiday. So on Tuesday, we will know, currently we are talking about the time frame for reporting for the data, for the narrative, and all of that. So we will know by Monday, okay? And if the counselors, give a chance for other counselors to. look
Counselor,
it over.
I would urge the council to accept the contract as it is. As far as the reporting goes, while I understand the transparency, we've never had access to data sharing with AMR. We're just beginning to, because they're doing it on a voluntary basis, and they're willing to enter into this agreement and meet with us operationally monthly and quarterly with our command staff, so that we can get to the bottom of the data on where we're doing really well, where we need improvement. To publish any data before we get a chance internally to do our due diligence could be detrimental, because a lot of what we're finding out in the early stages is some of the issues in the system is not with the Syracuse Fire Department or AMR. There's hospital wait times, and like we talked about in the committee meeting, there's a number of other factors. So what we don't want to do is put out data that we haven't had a chance to vet. AMR is willing to give a general overview, how many alarms they've responded to in the city and things like that. But to publish specific data, we have HIPAA laws because of patients, things like that we need to be very concerned with.
And I get that, Chief. I get that. And if this city is going to sign a contract with the AMR, there's a level where we need to hold ourselves accountable in AMR. And we are going to do it in a way that it fits the narrative of the city and how city operates, right? And if I personally, as a council, if I'm going to sign on to this contract and allow this contract to go through, there are certain things that I would want to see, because we report to the public. The public want to know information. I'm not concerned of what AMR is doing, because AMR have been doing business in this city for forever, long time, right? At this point, I don't want us to sound like we are desperate. We are not desperate. And we want to make sure that this data that we need from AMR coincide with what we want, right? So while I understand the need to have this contract with AMR,
If they don't sign this contract, if we don't sign this contract, then we don't have any availability to get any data. They're doing it voluntarily right now, and they were the only respondent to the RFP that we put out. There's no other ambulance service that can handle the call volume in the city of Syracuse.
and I get that, Chief. I understand, okay? I understand completely. But what we want to do is, if we are going to enter into a contract with AMR, there's a level of transparency that needs to happen to us as a city and to the public. The public need to know. And by us requesting AMR to give us a level of data, it also feeds the public that information. And that's what I want to see with this contract.
Counselor, with the contract, they are giving us data monthly with the fire department.
Can you share that with the public?
Not every piece of data is for public consumption.
I understand that.
So it's not that we're not willing to be transparent, it's what specific data are you looking for?
Well, from the calls to how AMR responds and all of that stuff.
How they respond is not a data point, though, so it's very broad. The response times, very clearly, response times used to be the metric. And right now, if we say that AMR has an increased response time, that may be a positive. And here's why. The model that they want to go to, and they have gone to, is to get the response times down on the critical calls.
So are you saying that, Chief, the information that AMR give to you is the information that part you don't want the public to see? Then why are we signing this contract?
Counselor, if we don't sign this contract and we don't have the access to the data that we just currently started to get access to, and they refuse to do it and this gets pulled,
So, Chief,
We're
let me
gonna
ask you
take a
this
step
question. The
backwards.
information that Councilor Majuk is asking for is not that AMR doesn't want to give it to us, but the 6 months would be skewed, right? So they're looking to do it in a broader span
correct,
of a
they
year.
agreed to an annual broad overview of general data. But nobody asked for any specific data points. They said that they would give the number of runs and all this, but you can call for committee meetings when you want and say, how's it going? What's going on with this? And the information that they can give, if you read the contract, if they're not hitting the metrics that we set after 3 months in a row, they are going to be called to the public. That's in the contract. It's
And you
just-
would actually let the public committee, the public safety chair know that, correct?
know what, sorry.
Of that they haven't met the metrics.
Yeah, we would not have any need to go to the public if they're meeting the metric. The metric is, if you're meeting it, we're gonna keep going, because we set a very stringent threshold, and if they don't meet that 3 months in a row, meaning if they miss it for 1 month, we're gonna say why, and let's look at what happened. If it's 3 months in a row, we have a problem, and now you're gonna be called to with a designee from the mayor's office, and if the answers aren't acceptable, they've agreed to publicly address what they need to address. That's in the contract as is.
In 90 days, okay.
And so I'll just add, I'm Mike Monza, Fire Chief. We've been negotiating with AMR for 2 years. We've had dozens of meetings to try to get data sharing. We've had an RFP committee where there were multiple common councilors on the RFP committee. Mm-hmm. The RFP committee voted us unanimously because we discussed what you're asking for now. I know you're on the committee, you didn't make the last meeting, but these issues were discussed. When I talked to AMR about your request, they were willing to submit to us a summary annually, but to do it in the short term, it's a deal breaker. And if between now and Tuesday, I don't believe after discussing them through 2 years of negotiations, talking to them yesterday, that's where they are with it. We have to have two parties to agree to a contract, and if they pull out, we'll just withdraw the item and they'll just continue to operate like they have for the last 7 years. But the system is stable right now, and like Chief Down said in the committee meeting, we're trying to make a snapshot of this, have everything in the contract so we can try to stabilize the system and improve it with our monthly operational meetings and our quarterly meetings with the fire chief and the director. But I understand what you're asking for. If they don't agree to it, it's a deal breaker, and it's just not going to pass, and we'll just move on and we'll work on other items. But we tried to, your request, we went to AMR. We responded back and forth the last 24 hours. They're not agreeable to what you're asking for. They will give a yearly summary. That was what was discussed in the committee meeting. But when you double down and ask for 6 months of all the data, they don't want to agree to that. So I could still work with them till Tuesday. I think it's a deal breaker. And if Tuesday comes and we can't agree and you don't want to bring it to a vote, I totally respect your opinion. We'll pull it, and AMR will just continue to operate without any oversight the way they've been for 7 years. But right now, the way it stands, it's the best that we've had for the city, for our constituents. This isn't about response times. It's about patient outcomes. This contract is going to make sure when somebody calls 911, the right ambulance is getting there at the right time, and that patient is getting the right outcome for their health issue. So I'll stop with that. We've done our best. We've met with them dozens of times. We brought an API to make sure the data is what the constituents need. There's really nothing else more we can try to do when you only had one person respond to the RFP. So respectfully, that's what I have to end this topic on. But we've tried our best, and we brought up your concern. They weren't agreeable to it in negotiations. But that information you want, we are getting it internally to make sure what happens on the streets every day, we understand the data, and we're making sure that it's not problematic.
But they want to give us a summary of things, but not a report.
They're going to give a summary of the previous year's their operations, and we'll discuss what issues we have, a room for improvements, all the things that we're going to be discussing internally, operationally. They're going to summarize the year previous in an annual report that we'll bring to the council every year. And as you know, you can call for a committee meeting at any point to discuss this like we did earlier this week. Every question you asked for, Councilor Majuk, we meticulously sat down and got every answer that you asked for, and we presented it at the committee meeting. I think I've done everything that you've asked for, and I'm fine if you would not like to put this through for a vote. I'm okay with it. I don't think it's good for the citizens, but I understand that if you have the right to do that, I totally understand that.
So just so I get it clear, I would suggest maybe you could probably work this out as far as, I think what Councilor Majuk is just asking for data that might be redacted to protect privacy of certain individuals and all that. I can't see what the problem is getting that data to them.
So The city's not paying AMR, and I'm not sure.
Well, no, I know
Yeah.
that, but they want to enter an agreement. They're amenable to entering this agreement. So why can't the counselor get the redacted data that protects privacy?
His request, we provided that request to AMR, and we weren't able to come to a yes on the agreement of that information.
It's,
But that specific information internally that won't be publicized, I'm getting that information. Our fire department team, who works with AMR every day, is getting more than what he's asking for every day to make sure that the operation is working for the constituents every month. We're meeting every month. And they don't have to.
I think it's important to understand that if the council is going to sign on to this contract, there is a level where this contract is open to the public to see from the inception of it to the execution of it. The public should have that access.
Absolutely.
And part of giving public that information is the data that AMR is not willing to produce.
But also, they're giving it to they're giving it in the contract.
What?
The contract that I sent to you in an email, there are many data points in there that they are giving us as the fire department, that we are representing the city.
We can lay out, I'm sorry, Deputy Mayor Sharon On. Can we lay out what data points we're getting?
We've done that already. I'll be more than happy to do that again, and it's in the
Let's
contract.
put it in
Yeah.
short form in a
Okay.
document, so
agreeable to those data points you're giving us internally.
Publicly. But they'll summarize overall their
All right,
operation.
we're gonna have a discussion differently, but we will know by Tuesday, okay? We'll know by Tuesday. Item 24.
24 is just to enter into an agreement with the school district for PSLA students to use the fire grounds as part of their cadet program. There's a $1 to the city. Is there any questions for that?
Didn't we do this last year too, Chief?
We've been working with PSLA
right.
on for a long time. This is just to enter into where they can use the facility and they're covered
Yeah.
with the attorneys and all that,
Okay.
the legal end of them being on the training grounds.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 25 is DFR. Chief, I think we have a committee meeting pending, public meeting on the 11th. We'll,
Judge, I didn't put it on, but I will be putting it on. It's gonna be it's gonna be pertaining to the drones. The council asked to do a public hearing for September 11th for the public to come in and speak on drones, so, yeah.
Yeah. so we'll-
Is that the
in
public-
short, we'll hold it.
Is that the Public Safety Committee meeting we were talking about, scheduling?
No, it's
No.
No, no,
Separate
it's
to
just
that?
the public
Okay, okay.
comments, basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay?
Okay, I'll be looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
So we'll hold that until then. Item 26.
26 is an application agreement to the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee for the 2026 Police Traffic Services Program, an amount not to exceed $60,100 to increase seatbelt usage, enhance older driver safety, as well as other dangerous driving behaviors. It's a grant when there's no local match required.
Okay, any questions? All right, 27, Chief.
27 is an agreement with Naughton and Associates to for information and technology services and support is needed by the police department from July 1st to June 30th of next year. Naughton has been vetted and background checked to ensure compliance with required security standards. Total cost not to exceed $120,000. What we're doing here is that this is for IT consultation work for the new public safety building.
Or the West Fayette?
Yes, sir. Yep, and they're familiar with the way our operations now, and if we were to go through an RFP process, it would greatly delay it.
Any questions? 28?
28, this is an agreement for the Pell Program with Sinead Bradley. This was previously approved, and the account that you approved to spend the money out of didn't have enough funds in it, so Jimmy Oliver's asking to switch it to another PAL account just to pay the bills as they come up. This has been previously approved under a different account number.
Okay. 29,
29, this is a payment to Access Global Group. I was here in July for this one. I requested permission because there was one more session that we hadn't anticipated. You approved it in July. Now that we went to pay the bill, it fell out of the contract window by a few weeks, so we would like permission to actually pay the money that you had approved in July. And then this is one where we're moving on from this company now, and we're going to be using internal sources in the future.
and the last one is the annual uniform.
Yep, last one is the two uniform shops that are located in Syracuse. One of them is locally owned and operated, which is Lewis Uniform. It's also for United Uniform out of Buffalo, but they have a shop here in the city. It's to replace uniforms, clothing, and related equipment for the July 1st to June 30th of next year. This is when police officers get uniforms damaged in the performance of their duty, get their pants torn, et cetera. We'll send them over there to get them fitted and fixed right away.
So this is to just fix the uniform, not to buy them, because
No.
that's a separate one.
That's separate,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Any other questions? That'll be all, Madam President. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Geddes.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 31 through 33. I'm going to hold item 31. I'm going to withdraw item number 32 and number 33. If anybody wants to speak on 33, engineering.
Good afternoon, councilors. Mary Robison, city engineer, and I also have Tom Farrar here from the city school district. Item 33 is to authorize the Institute of Technology Stadium to be located at Rossler Park. It'll include a stadium, expanded seating, team rooms, restroom facilities, concession, storage area, a new playground, and a walking trail with fitness equipment.
I think those are some preps, right? You all want to see them or whatever, or?
You can,
Oh, if you want to talk about it.
Sure, I brought my laser pointer. And I heard we have some track fans in the room. Oh. Sorry, Mary.
She goes hip.
So this is a project. I brought two projects here. So one project is funded. That's called the Rossler Park, right behind the Institute of Technology. That project is funded $14 million, and it's with the State Education Department right now. We expect approval on that in any day now. I've been saying that for a couple months, but we've had comments and stuff. That will add a stadium. It will seat 2,500 people. There's a nice playground there that was put in 1972. We're going to replace that playground with a playground that's better. That will be open to the public outside of the stadium fencing, so that'll be available. That playground gets used a lot. If you go by there, you'll see kids using that all the time. We also are adding a fitness trail outside of the stadium for people to use. We're using every square inch of grass and land on that stadium. So there's a building there for parks to store vehicles that are gas powered. We have, like our other stadiums at the large high schools, we have team rooms in there, bathrooms for the public, a small concession area. The Parks Department will run the facility, will be one of the primary tenants to use it, and we're looking forward to building this with you. Likely approved now, then we would go to bid in the fall, and probably construction, the contractor probably would start in the spring. He might want to go during the winter, he or she, whoever gets the job. And I'm saying it's probably a 9 to 12 month project, so I'd say the spring of 27 is when the project would be 100% complete. So we would, they would start it at the end of next winter, and then I think it'll take about a year to close the whole project out and everything.
So the Parks Department will run it, and you guys are okay.
Sort of like what we have at Henniger, at Sunnycrest.
So the teams in the community that may want to use the park, they just go through the Parks Department usual process.
Correct.
Gets first and then they go.
As long as it's not competing with yours.
Correct.
Okay.
but the playground will be open to the community all the time.
Oh, okay.
But the stadium will be more of a control, the stadium itself will be more controlled. And the walking path would also be open all the time, right, Tom?
So unfortunately, That early rendering didn't show everything, so, yeah, actually, can you just flip it upside down? So the school is here. Right on this side here, this is where we're gonna have the physical fitness equipment. Playground is right here, and there, you can walk all the way around it on sidewalk. So we didn't want to lose any parking. Parking, as you know, for ITC and the STEAM school is premium. This will be gated later on as part of the project. So we're looking forward to that. Now, we do have, I know some people wanted a track. We did look at trying to add a track. There just is not enough land. We had the same problem at other places, but we are looking at a project down the road. It's not funded yet, and that's why I brought this in here over here, which is for Roosevelt Field, which I know at least one counselor, you can guess who, played on.
Oh, jeez.
I had to do that. But my grandmother went to school there, so we would like to before Pat, but we would really like to restore that field. That was Councilor Hogan and I were talking about it before the meeting. That was the premier field in the city, and it needs a lot of work. We want to make it a nice stadium again with an all-turf weather field. It'll have lights. It'll have team rooms. It'll have bleachers. It'll have a track. We can get a 6-lane track in there. I can't get an 8-lane. We tried, but we can't quite fit. We run out of real estate, basically. So that project's not funded yet, so keep us in mind. But we're going to try to get aid. This project that we're doing, ITC, is 98% eligible for building aid. We tied it to the Institute of Technology, so we're going to get aid on that. We have to do some work inside the school to get that aid. If we went outside and tried to do the city streets or anything, we're going to be out of aid because the way the state limits us, it's on what they call incidental cost. So, any questions?
Who's doing the renovation? Who's the contracts going to?
It hasn't been bid yet.
It hasn't been bid yet.
It's the designer is SEI out of Rochester. They have a general services agreement, and Appel Osborne, they're a local landscape architecture firm. They did a lot of the design. They've done Syracuse University sports facilities.
We're waiting for SED approval. So once we receive SED approval, then we'll put the project out to bid later this year.
I sat in on the CT one a couple of times, but the Roosevelt Field, kind of both of them. What is I know like one had some school parking usage. I'm assuming that has some school parking usage, but what's the broader plan for parking?
Well, at Roosevelt Field, we have to use the school parking. There's no, that's the one drawback of that project. There isn't really no place to add parking. So, but we work with the church next door. They're very good with us, and we would use the school parking lot, and the church usually would work with us for events.
Well, that church is about to be sold, so
Okay.
hopefully you get the same contract.
Greater
or
love.
agreement.
When do we have this plan on, ready to, if voted, when voted on, when is this project gonna start?
I'm hoping to have it, I'm hoping to open it spring of '27. We would hopefully have SED approval any day now. We would bid it through Department of Purchase. We would bid it this fall, have the contracts all awarded, and then most likely the contractor would start March or in April. The contractor could start in the fall. It's going to depend on who the contractor is and what his or her sequence of operations are.
And does the Roosevelt Field one activate that little house thing again? Yeah.
Yeah, that was done during the 1930s, and that stays. We'll figure something out for that. We used to store pesticides in there when schools could have pesticides like 50 years ago. So we can't really turn that into like a people building, but we can store like lawn equipment or things like that in there.
Both fields are going to be lighted, Tom?
Yes.
If you can imagine, 4 of the 6 high schools at that time, Roosevelt was their home field. So you can imagine scheduling on a grass field the home football games, 4 games a week. So.
You also part of the project. You're on the project for Central Tech inside the range. Okay.
Mary and I have worked on that a little.
Any further questions? Thank you, Madam President Mossad.
Thank you. Councilor Hogan.
Thank you, President Hudson. I have items 34 through 39. I will 34 is, we'll have a public hearing tonight. 35 is ready pending a public hearing on September 2nd. 36 is a companion piece. That is ready. 37 and 38 and 39, I will hold for respective public committee meetings on those.
So 37, 38, 39?
Right. There won't be, 37 will be, there'll be a separate committee meeting for 37 and one for 38 and 39.
Okay.
Counselor, Commissioner OJ will get us an updated letter for 38.
Okay, thank you.
You said
No. We're all set?
Yes, thank you.
Counselor Williams?
If I may, sorry. Michael Collins, Commissioner of Neighborhood and Business Development. For 38 and 39, the low-income housing tax credit application for which these are necessary, that is due to New York State likely before the next meeting. So if there was a way to do a committee meeting so that these could be voted on at the September 2nd meeting, that would allow the projects to proceed. But likely they would be incomplete applications and therefore not considered by New York State if these were not in place before that.
I'll have to look at so before the next committee, before the voting session on the,
Before Tuesday?
No, we're all good. If it was delayed past Tuesday,
okay.
that would be a challenge. So I just wanted to bring that up from a scheduling perspective. I will get the date from New York State and confirm. But that just from a scheduling standpoint, I just wanted to let everybody know.
This is their second go-around with this, right? They did the first.
Correct.
Yeah, so the first attempt, they failed at.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just simply pointing it out from a scheduling standpoint, that's all.
So in other words, if I have something Tuesday morning, city clerk?
That would be fine, but I will also confirm with you the date this afternoon.
Okay.
Just to make
Thank
sure.
you. Then I'll get to the
Yeah, I
city
think
clerk.
that's probably be the best, let them confirm the date, because, if that's the case, it should have been on the last agenda, where the council should have had the time to vet it and do what they do.
Yeah, no,
So I don't
totally
think
understand.
that you guys should be bouncing around for that.
So, yeah, I'll Councilor Hogan and President, I'll get you something this afternoon. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Councilor, President.
All right, thank you, Madam President. I've got items 40 through 53 today.
Good afternoon, councilors. Nicolas Diaz, Chief Innovation and Data Officer. I have items 40 through 43. Items 42 through 42 are software renewals. We've discussed them. I hope all the questions have been answered there. This is not new software, by the way. This is just
I can't really understand what you say.
Sorry. I'm saying these are all regular software renewals. There's nothing new here.
These are the items that have been on for 2 prior cycles.
Correct.
Correct, yep. And made the adjustment for the 1-year term rather than the 3.
Give them an opportunity to do an RFP if they choose to.
Good. And item 43.
Item 43, this is a invitation we received to participate in the Cities Today Institute for a forum on digitalization. One of my directors will be attending. This is no cost to the city, so we're always trying to find opportunities for sharing with other cities and other leaders in this field. So hoping to make the best out of this opportunity. Any questions?
Almost set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, one question really quick. This
Yes, ma'am.
doesn't pertain to these 3. Where are we far as timekeeping, far as our keeping with the systems?
I believe we
Is
have
everyone? No, it's not on this.
That's coming up.
It's item 45.
You might want to.
Yeah, 45.
Yeah.
Wait to that? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, councilors. Mike Canizero, Commissioner of Finance. I'll be up here for 44, 45, 46, and 47. So 44 is an agreement with Kathleen Wilson. Kathleen Wilson is a former city IT employee. She worked for the city for decades. She's now a retired employee that we're looking to utilize in an IT consulting role. Really, she attends a weekly meeting with payroll, IT, and HR staff to kind of address AS400 issues. For example, right now we're working through a settlement that we need to basically redact the taxes that were withheld through 2025. She's not under contract for 2026, so that's something we can't do right now until we get her under contract. We did waive the RFP process. Really, I mean, she built out the AS400 for the city, so that's payroll, timekeeping, water billing.
So that's why you waived the RFP?
Huh?
So that's why you waived the RFP?
Yes. Kind of the critical nature. I mean, if you wanted us to go out and do an RFP for AS400 consulting services, we can. It's really at this point, just with some of the critical projects we have going on, NYLER's enhanced reporting. So that's mapping AS400 codes to a new retirement report. It impacts, payroll operations. It's $48,000 for the year. We didn't do it for this cycle, but I think a year or 2 years ago when we were looking at AS400 consultants, Kathleen's charging, I think not even $80, $75 per hour. It's significantly less than any third party. So I guess any questions?
But after this year, you'd be RFPing it, correct?
That kind of goes into the next item. I mean, really, we're doing this annual contracting because if we do successfully transition out of the AS400, we don't really need her services anymore.
Okay.
So that's 44. 45 is a recommendation for HCM software implementation services. We did do an RFP for that. This is primarily to implement the UKG Pro Suite, replacing aging legacy systems, that's specifically AS400 for timekeeping and payroll, and optimizing end-to-end HR payroll and timekeeping operations. I think we included some counselors on the RFP committee. I don't think either of you were able to attend. I'm assuming we'll probably want to do a committee meeting on this, but 3 proposals were received. Mosaic Consulting Group was the unanimous decision. It's primarily looking at an 18-month contract at $900,000, $50,000 a month. We can forward their response to RFP to you. I think it was about 60 pages proposal, kind of laying out the phases. Any questions on that, 45?
I would like to schedule a committee meeting both on this item and again, to kind of take a step back and let's talk about the whole project, where we're at.
Okay.
What's in the way. And I know Councilor Caldwell has some questions today.
I want to know like a little update of where we are as far as departments. Are they moving forward, no longer writing? Are they?
No, we're still processing, with paper timesheets, unfortunately. I think everyone on the project team wish we were a little bit farther along. There are some union hangups. I think the goal is to get water processing. Do you want to answer? Water in being processed out of, Workforce Central integrated. So that integration's built. For the first couple cycles, we will be kind of manually inputting from an SWC report into AS400 for payroll processing, just to make sure everyone's comfortable with it. Once we work through a couple cycles, then SWC would feed ours, through that integration into AS400. So as far as that manual typing that I probably discussed with you, how numbers are being typed 2 to 3 times, that goes away once we roll out SWC. I think One Park Place and City Hall, everyone's received training. I think we're looking more so, later fall, early calendar year next year as far as, successfully rolling it out to everyone.
Right now, water is not on. Is DPW on?
We're kind of in a parallel state with DPW and Parks and Rec. Water's the closest. And it's really the operating departments that are going to be the most challenging, just dealing with all the different union rules, overtime, night shift differential, standby pay. I think we don't anticipate rollout for City Hall and One Park Place to be too difficult, because really we're all office administrative workers. Mostly people are working 8 to 4 shift or 9 to 5 shift. Whereas we don't expect that to be too difficult, but getting through the operating departments is going to be the challenge.
So you're saying next year, you should have more of the department rollouts? And only why one of the questions that are concerning, because I receive a lot of calls from like water departments and different departments of human error, right? Yeah. So they're like, they owe me money, what do I do,
We had a parks overpayment a month ago because the wrong spreadsheet was submitted, and that resulted in significant overpayments and underpayments for dozens of employees that with, punching in, punching out via a software and that information integrated with a payroll process, that doesn't happen. So it's really those type of manual human errors that we're looking to eliminate. We're not going to automate every aspect of payroll or timekeeping, but the goal is to automate as much as possible.
Thank you.
Yep. So Commissioner, do you think this will be the last $900,000 we'll have to spend?
No.
No?
I mean, I
You think this will
for-
be going on? I mean, we're getting to like the sort of the budget of a small European country now as far as monies go.
As far as implementation services, yes, I hope this would be the last. And I mean, because we're building a software, this is really going to be using CIP funds. So this is capital dollars for this 900,000. So we're using previously approved money for the city software systems project. The next request that I think you could expect is really licenses for UKG Pro. Licenses cannot be procured with capital dollars, so there would have to be utilizing general fund operating dollars to procure licenses. So I think that's really the next big request that you'll be getting from us as far as this project.
Mike, will you run through that again? You mentioned the capital plan, but we've got an account it's getting charged to.
Yeah.
Is there cash capital within the capital plan, or what?
It's bonded.
It's bonded,
Yep.
so
Wait a second. No.
We already had money.
Are you talking about 45?
Yeah, I'm talking about 45.
45 is professional service, so you have an account number attached to that. That's not being bonded.
That's capital funding.
I know, but it's professional service. We don't bond for professional services.
There's very specific GASB guidance as far as software implementation. Out-of-the-box software, if I would just go buy QuickBooks right now, I cannot capitalize that. But because there's substantial configuration, and we got our bond attorney sign off on this, we have a pretty thorough memo.
See, there's no bond connected to it unless there's money already in there.
It's already in there.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
so, cool.
yeah.
All right.
This
all
was
right.
previously approved
All
money.
right. As I just said, only reason why I was saying it because I see an account number attached to it without a bond. All right, we're good.
Okay,
I understand.
good to hear. Any other questions on 45 before I move to 46 and 47? All right. 46 and 47 kind of go hand in hand. This is the property known as Garzones. Not too familiar with it, but it's on the kind of the top of South Ave. So this property was acquired by the city in 2014 through the tax seizure process. And really what we're doing now is kind of cleaning up the back taxes. This probably should have been done at that time. But to move forward with the subdivision and to allow future development, we need to clean up the old taxes on this property. So it's 2 parcels or 2 addresses, the 2410 South Ave. We're looking at about $8,400 in taxes plus accrued fees, interest, penalties, and legal charges. For 2426 South Ave and Princeton Ave, it's just shy of $67,000 for kind of those same fees, interest, penalties, and charges.
Question for you,
Yeah.
okay, because I'm familiar with this property, and I know at one point we had taken it back then, and they sold it to an individual. But then they came back and said that the county owns some of that land. So
So the county's also waiving their portion of taxes for these properties. Sorry, Onondaga County has already agreed to compromise the county delinquent tax bills on this parcel. Does that?
So they're going to let us subdivide it?
Yes,
So they're going to be done with their part of what they own?
that's my understanding, yes.
letter, and this should be in the ordinance as well.
So the portion of Onondaga County is the watershed area,
I think so.
right? Because you, right? And then what
So
about the
how do they
floral?
become
Did
done
the pro shop also part of this?
I'm not a land expert. I cannot
It's not.
answer.
Okay, it's just, okay, Mike. I think Mike has been,
Thank you, Councilor. Michael Lehman, Deputy Commissioner with the Assessment Department. The floral shop was demolished in November of '23.
now, is that space also included in all of this?
Yes, so
Okay.
if you're looking at a map, it's the side closest to South Avenue, just east of the watershed, as we were describing, which was the county program. So that won't be affected by the re-subdivision.
But you're saying that the watershed area, they're gonna not have anything to do with it anymore, but that is still non-buildable, correct?
It is not buildable, yes.
Okay.
And years ago, they put the, you know, the drainage system in there, and I don't think I think the intention was to kind of help with the flooding and the flow of water. So I don't think, even if the new owner come, it's unbuildable. It's just, under it's a different story.
To the west, yes.
Yes. So I'm glad they're not messing with it.
No, they won't be.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions on those items? Great, thank you.
Okay. And item 48, Michael, I believe that's you again.
Good afternoon again, councilors. Michael Lehman, Deputy Commissioner with Assessment. We are asking to adjust the not to exceed amounts to $18,500 from the previous $15,000 authorized. This is to account for permit drawings and a directory on the 7th floor of One Park Place.
Question, Council? Yeah, you know what I wanted to ask, why do we not just do authorization of payment instead of like amending the lease agreement when the lease agreement like have zero to do with the amount don't change with the lease agreement or anything? So shouldn't we probably be doing an authorization just to pay, like, from a specific account? Joe, that might be your question, or what? What do you think, Michael?
I'm not sure why we would do something else, but the reason we chose this path is because those were considered tenant improvements, so related to the lease per se, but they don't change the lease payments at all.
Yeah, I know. I think that we can do authorization related to this particular ordinance or whatever instead of because we're constantly amending a lease agreement when we're not amending the lease agreement. And I just wanted to bring that up to figure out the right route to go, because I know the first time we did it, we did it like for 14,000, I think last year, whatever, and this year, and it probably will keep going, you know, as you make renovations. So I just was wondering, what path should we like really practice on going with this? So, what do you think, Michael? Whatever you think.
Yes, good afternoon, councilors. Joe Barry, First Assistant Corporation Counsel. My understanding is we're working with the owner of the building, the landlord, so it's not a traditional city project where we're renovating city-owned property. So in my opinion, the lease is the appropriate vehicle because the landlord's responsible for the improvements, and we're basically, under the negotiated lease agreement, paying for the improvements that we requested.
Yeah, I just don't see how that makes sense though, because we're just not amending the lease. But if it, you know, whatever, it's just.
It works from a legal perspective.
It works from a legal, okay.
Yes.
All right, then. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions on this item? If I may move on to items 49 and 50 are companions. The council had authorized a license agreement for the property at 255 Walton Street. This is a parking lot. After further discussions with our law department and in consideration of making sure that taxis levied on the property would be the new user's responsibility, a lease agreement was determined to be a better type of agreement. So the first item is to rescind the previous authorization of a license agreement, and the second is requesting authorization of a lease agreement. The terms don't change from what we had already discussed and agreed with the now would-be lessee.
The terms changed as well. It went from a 2.5% escalator to a 2, and now they get a 5% discount lump
I
sum
mean, I was
payment.
looking at that, I was just trying to, I just thought I looked at that and made sure no terms changed, but terms changed?
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
It should still be 5 years.
I see the 2% in there, did I miss the 2% last time, or
Is it
I think I looked in the ordinance and it was the same, but I can check.
2.5% annual escalation? Oh, the short title is incorrect then.
Yeah, I'll check.
Yes,
I'll
it
make
should,
sure.
it should read 2.5%.
Because I think we came back and amended and changed that short title, and I
Okay.
think I might have grabbed the wrong one. I'll
I
make
see.
sure, Councilman.
Okay.
Yep, missing the ordinance.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
'51 correction of tax rules might be you again. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon, Councilors. Ann Gallagher, First Deputy Commissioner of Assessment. There was some errors in charging these two property owners for cut and cleans or illegal set-outs. So we take care of the request from codes and/or finance. They were billed by mistake. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then
53 is settlements, if we could do executive session.
We're all set, Councilor.
All right, Madam President, thank you. I'm all set.
Councilor Jones-Rouser.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 54 through 59. Speak on.
Afternoon, Councilors. Michelle Sapansky, Deputy Commissioner of Neighborhood Development. Items 54 and 55 are companion pieces to authorize the city to enter into agreement with the Syracuse Urban Renewal Agency for an amount, and what is stated here is $1 million to enter into agreement with home headquarters. Those are pursuant to the funds that were authorized for home headquarters in the city's 25-26 general operating budget. We're requesting, it was brought to my attention after this legislation request was submitted that the language in the budget, actually, there's a total amount not to exceed for home headquarters authorized up to $1.25 million. So I would like to, if the council would be amenable to it, to just clarify within this letter, we would like to put $750,000 to offset the development cost of the townhomes for owner occupants at the SDC, and then 500,000 of it would be allocated towards the urgent care program.
I wonder why you was leaving the other 500,000 out, but.
Yeah. So the other 500,000 would be for the urgent care program. We are specifically looking to target those dollars to individuals who are income qualified in the areas in the housing strategy neighborhoods as kind of a first preference for those applicants. The reason for that language is that at this point with existing CDBG dollars, urgent care is funded citywide up to the slightly over $2 million, I think they have on an annual basis for all over the city. And I think with the terms of the CDBG that we operate within, just using some of those dollars in the middle neighborhoods is a little bit more clunky. So we want to make sure that we have additional resources where we can match kind of some of the income needs within these neighborhoods that we're also doing a lot of dedicated work in. So.
725, right?
Yep.
Each, right?
So it would be 500,000. I think what we would be asking just in terms of where the needs are globally across all of these projects and in our conversations with home headquarters, we would want to put 750,000 to the SDC townhomes and 500,000 to urgent care.
Okay.
So Michelle, we're talking about 750 for the STC project. It was my understanding they need close to about $5 million for that project.
The townhome specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, total cost of construction for townhomes, just total cost of construction for a new home period is very expensive. The
Right.
townhome construction, there's some nuances within building code that particular things that they have to do from kind of a fire safety building code standpoint that make those costs above and beyond what we're seeing, what we would otherwise encounter for a single family home. Bottom line is kind of cost of construction and particularly kind of the subsidy for income qualified home buyers is expensive. So
Right.
we're working as much as we can to kind of work hand in hand with home headquarters to make sure that we're being as prudent as we possibly can with this. But and additionally, the council authorized additional fundraising that we're doing to match applications through New York State to also contribute to that total project cost. So it's not like these funds are exclusively kind of city dollars that are going to these. So we feel like there's a lot of value to home ownership opportunities for income qualified individuals, first-time home buyers.
I mean, Councilor Hogan, I know you and I have had conversations around this. It's my
particularly
concern.
about the home headquarters
Right.
part of it,
It's
but the
my
other part of
concern, my worry that this project is going to stop after phase one. We're going to have 2 LIHTC buildings on the side of Tip Hill, and we're not going to go any further.
I mean, I think this item is specifically pursuant to the construction of the townhomes.
Right.
So.
And there's still a multi-million-dollar gap.
Which makes this particular project even more important.
Yes.
Because this will anchor that project.
Agreed. And I'm afraid we never get there.
No, I mean, the first phase, we all have concerns about the first 2 buildings being built and then the next 2 buildings not being built.
Yeah, so, Counselor, to your point around both the gap and the concerns, so as Deputy Commissioner Szymanski just mentioned, Home Headquarters has just yesterday submitted their application to New York State we just got confirmation late in the afternoon that they've submitted for the AHOP program, which is the primary source of funding that would allow this to move forward. To Councilor Hogan's point, this is home ownership. And so it is exactly this type of anchor and that would make it easier for this project to proceed in the way that we've discussed, because now you're bringing up the income within that whole area. And that's what this comes down to is the underwriting of whoever's going to finance current phases, future phases. The more we're able to establish a broader base within that neighborhood, the more likely it is that the investors are able to do it. So I firmly believe that this is the type of project that complements what we're trying to do overall, and therefore just strengthens the opportunity to be able to move it forward.
And just so the council knows, I mean, I've been in contact with the site chair. We've been talking, Eric's just back. I'll have a full committee meeting on this. I'll ask Councilor Jones-Rouser to co-chair it with me on the whole project as we go further, because there'll be certainly other legislation, it's my understanding, to come before us.
So, and Eric will be able to, I know you've been having a lot of conversations with Eric, so I don't want to go over what you guys have already done. But yeah, to this particular project, when you combine it with the fact that we've got the Syracuse Housing Strategies Corporation having just launched the first round of grants within that neighborhood as well. We just did our power walk up there yesterday.
A power walk?
We go through with police, fire. Fire's always got the kids always love the fire department more than they love code enforcement. It's a little bit insulting to us, but we work with it, right? And we just go door to door, and we were spreading the word yesterday about the Syracuse Strategies Corporation
So, Commissioner,
programming.
let me ask you a question, because it's Salt Spring and Tip Hill. So what happened to the far west side?
Oh.
That's a wording error. I can adjust that, but we would look to target these in the same areas that mirror the geographies that we're doing the programming for Housing Strategies Corporation.
Okay, so the far west side is still...
Same boundary area.
Okay.
So far, we've had one application that's actually been submitted, but we've had quite a bit of phone calls and interest that we've received. There's a lot of people that have reached out to us that we know there's many teams that are working to put together their applications, understanding kind of the teamwork component. People are, we rolled it out and we're doing a lot of the informational meetings, so people are still kind of putting their stuff together. But we've had a lot of interest, and we anticipate that they're, just based on people that have said that they're getting their stuff together, I expect that we'll probably have somewhere at least a dozen within the next week or so.
So we're gonna correct that.
Yeah, I can clarify the wording there that it, yep.
I was just confused. I'm glad you caught that, Michelle, because I was confused about, because the council allocated additional 1 million.
Yeah, I had been,
To
yeah.
the 250.
Yeah, budget office cleared that up with me, so if you'll accept the new letter, I will amend that accordingly,
I'm sitting
so.
up here like, where is this 250
Yep,
coming from?
yep, thank you. Any other questions on 54 and 55? All right.
We'll have a new letter just so we get the ordinance right.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I'll get you one this afternoon. All right. Then if there's no other question on those items, then item 56 is authorization to enter into an agreement with the Center for Justice Innovation, not to exceed $200,000 for program services related to the Community Ambassador Program. I had circulated some information to the council about this several weeks back, just about kind of the program operations and what impact has been. One of the new things that we've started working with them on this year is engaging them and assisting us with some what I would call kind of pre-foreclosure prevention outreach. So a lot of the work that is happening from our staff in our office as it pertains to the foreclosure prevention process is at the point at which people become behind enough that the city is engaged in the process. But this is even well before that. People that are just getting kind of a couple quarters behind, particularly owner occupants, doing really early outreach. That's been very successful for us, and the total amount that we've been able to get people caught up on effectively is just under $200,000. So that's been recovered and that people have paid from that. So I think just seeing that data, that's something that from a program standpoint, I think we're looking to kind of think about how we can additionally focus our energy and do more of that moving forward with the work that they're doing. So. And this amount is the $200,000. This was authorized within the city's general budget for 24 or for 25, 26 as well. So, yep.
How many ambassadors again?
There's a team of 4 that they've got. Their team is all back here right now.
4?
Ask the question.
All right, so we've been going back and forth. I did review the information that was sent over to me. I will say that the tax assistance portion wasn't quite what we were looking for as when we had the committee meeting from last year. We were looking for individuals who were currently in that first stage of facing tax foreclosure.
Yes, so that's, yeah, just to clarify, that's kind of the very first year starting to get behind, and you're also in your first year of.
We wanted that 3-year mark, basically, not the 12 to 24 month mark. So just to clarify that.
Okay, yeah, and we're happy to, that's a very easy adjustment for us to make sure that we're kind of including everyone up to any range of time that people would be behind. The more outreach that we have, the better. So I'm happy to make sure that that is kind of added and that we're effectively kind of pacing that. So.
Okay, I guess there's some more questions. I was gonna try to not have a committee meeting, but there may possibly be a committee meeting. If so, then you'll know by tomorrow.
Are there any questions that I might be able to clarify for folks right now at the mic, or that the team, since they're here, that Leah might be able to answer?
Okay, so, all right, well, I'll let you know by this evening.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Right.
And disagreement.
Afternoon again, councilors. Michael Lehman, Deputy Commissioner with the Assessment Department. We are requesting that the council authorize a new lease agreements with the Syracuse Northeast Community Center to continue their services for 5 more years at 716 Hawley Avenue. Have any questions? Thank you very much.
Is Brian here? No.
It's not here. No.
Thank you.
59.
Good afternoon, Councilors. Kimone Jordan, Director of Housing and Neighborhood Planning. So item 59 is a request to have 256 Ashdale Ave transferred to the land bank once the foreclosure process is complete. So this is a property where the renter has been living there for several years. They are interested in purchasing the property.
And what's going on with the vacant lot next to it? Is that, because didn't we, that was on and is off?
Yeah, so that one actually needs a land bank resolution. So Caitlin has agreed to put it on her agenda for September, and then it'll be back before you all later in September. Any questions?
Does the person that wants to buy the house want the lot next door too?
Yes, so I think the land bank would be looking to re-subdivide and
Okay.
include it into one.
That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Oh, I thought that it was the opposite side.
261, I believe, is next door, but I can double check.
258 and
But not
256.
not the, I thought the lot was gonna be sold to the person on one side and the house was gonna be a different sale.
I think the lot actually has a garage that goes to one of the properties.
Yes.
So that's going to go to that person. It'll be re-subdivided and conjoined and then sold to the renter. Any
All right.
questions?
That's all. Thank you,
That's it?
Kimone.
I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Whoa, wait, we have executive session.
Oh, we
I'm
didn't-
sorry, I need a motion to go to executive session.
So
We normally do that on Monday, but okay.
We switched it so we can think about it.
Are we doing?